Welcome to the Generation Elevation podcast, a conscious, connected platform for those who are ready to manifest their dream life. I'm your host, Elise Riley, a former PT, now motivational speaker, igniting empowerment and transformation all across the globe. Here at Generation Elevation, we are committed to bringing you the most inspiring guests who will share their stories, wisdom, and advice to help you progress closer to living a life of your own terms. What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Generation Elevation. Today, I wanted to share with you one of the best mindset shifts I learned for dealing with comparison and comparing yourself to other people. For those of you listening right now, having a think about when was the last time you compared yourself to someone else? When was that time that you compared your body, your intelligence, your success, your lifestyle to someone else? And how did it make you feel? We have all heard the saying, comparison is the thief of joy. And I tell you what, if you're thinking about the last time you compared yourself to someone else, my guess is that you probably don't feel too good about it. Like, you don't compare yourself to someone else and go, oh yay, like this is the best feeling ever. Because honestly, I spent years comparing my body, my intelligence, my lifestyle, my success to others. And time again, it confirms that saying, comparison really is the thief of joy. And this is a mindset shift that I use for my own experience, but I also have many clients who come to me asking, hey, Elise, how do I stop comparing myself to other people? And this is a tool that I use with my clients as well. So I'm really excited to share this with you all today. In a previous episode I put up on this podcast, What You Focus On Expands, I speak a little bit about the reticular activating system in our brain. Now, if you have not listened to What You Focus On Expands, that episode, definitely go do yourself a favor and check that out, because there is some really good little gold nuggets in that episode for you waiting to be received. But today, what I'm talking about is comparison and how to stop comparing yourself to other people, because it's not fun. So in that previous episode, What You Focus On Expands, I speak about how there's 2 million pieces of information that our senses are dealing with every single second. And of that, 140 roughly of that 2 million is actually being filtered through to our neural networks in our brain. Now, what distinguishes that 140 from 2 million? Well, our brain will generalize, distort, and delete information based off our current beliefs, values, and what is already in our current awareness. So it's like when you're at a festival, for example, and you cannot hear the person next to you, whatever they're saying. However, you hear your name being shouted like 20 meters away. And this is because your name is so ingrained in your awareness, hopefully, that your brain is constantly listening out for your name to be called. Because when you hear your name, your automatic response is to listen and pay attention. So, what does this have to do with comparison? Like I said before, what you see in your reality is based off your current awareness. Your reticular activating system in your brain will search your experience based off your current awareness, your current beliefs, and your current values. So if you have a belief about something within yourself, let's say, I've had a really good day today. After a busy day at work, you come home and say, I've had a really good day. Your brain will search your experience for points in your day where you felt really good, to prove your bias, to prove your belief that you had a really good day. And vice versa, after a really busy day at work, you're getting home and someone asks, how's your day? And you say, oh, it was terrible. Your brain, because you have the belief that your day was terrible, will search your experience. Even though you might have had good experiences within that day, your brain will search all the times where you felt terrible to prove your point and completely delete any times that you felt good, just so that you could prove your bias. Our brain's sneaky, right? And where I'm getting with this is what you see external to you usually is a mirror of what's going on internally. So let's say if you've compared your body, your lifestyle, your success to someone else, and you're seeing this in your experience, your brain is seeking your reality to notice beauty, to notice success in others. And if you have a belief that you are not good enough, that you are not beautiful, that you are not smart enough, that you are not successful, your brain will see these people in your experience, and rather than seeing them as your mirror and being like, oh, if I can see this in others, that means they are me because others are my mirror. You're making it mean that because they are beautiful, that they are successful, that they are happy, you're putting them on a pedestal and therefore pitting yourself, making their success mean that you are a failure, which we know is not true because there's no failure in life. There is only feedback. And so if you have these beliefs about yourself that are disempowering, your brain, your reticular activating system in your brain will search your experience to prove why this is the case. So if you have the belief, I'm not good enough or I'm not smart enough, your brain will search your experience and remember all the times where you weren't good enough, where you weren't smart enough, where you weren't pretty enough, where you weren't successful enough to prove that you are right. And we all know that feeling of wanting to be right instead of wrong. True? So how do we shift this? My first piece of advice would be to know that what you see in others is also within you. Because if you did not have success, beauty in your awareness, your brain would not be able to see it. And so the fact that you can see others succeeding, the fact that you can see another's beauty or happiness, the fact that you can see all these amazing things means that all these amazing things are actually within you, because your brain would not be able to filter from 2 million to 140 that of which you do not already know or that of which you do not already have awareness of within yourself. So rather than making someone else's success, beauty, income, lifestyle mean that you are not good enough and pitting yourself and putting them on a pedestal, instead of looking up to, looking over to, and knowing that because you can see all those things, that they are actually reflecting back to you the amazingness that is residing in your own self. Just let that land for a second. Reflecting on all the times where you compared yourself to Sally or to Bob, and where you made that mean that you were a failure, when actually it was the complete opposite, that they were reflecting back to you your own success, your own happiness, your own freedom, your own beauty. It's pretty powerful. Then the second thing that comes with this, if everyone is your reflection, what about the people that are annoying? What about the people that are triggering you in your day-to-day life? What about those people? And this may not land as nicely as the first tip, but how can you be at cause instead of effect of the people around you? And how can you take responsibility for how that person is making you feel? Because if you are seeing these traits within people that are not pleasing to you, potentially they are reflecting back to you parts of yourself where you are judging, victimizing, and complaining about you. So for example, if you are judging another, usually the thing that you are judging them on is actually mirrored back to you in something that you judge yourself on. So for example, when I first started the gym, I was super judgy to all the confident women that were coming into the gym that were so beautiful. I would compare myself to them and I would be so judgy. And at that time, I would rock up to the gym with long pants, triple XL tee, and I was so insecure within myself because I didn't like the way I looked and that I wanted to be confident, but I was not. And so I would judge others who were reflecting back to me who I wanted to be. And the greatest shift that I ever learned was asking the question, how is that person me? Because how I mentioned before, that we only see in our reality that of which we are currently aware of. So if I'm judging someone else based on what they look like or on their confidence, was because I was already judging myself on the way I looked instead. And I made their confidence mean that I wasn't good enough. And therefore, I was choosing to play victim and to blame and justify instead of be at cause and take responsibility for how I felt rather than letting someone else affect the way I feel. So if you have someone in your day-to-day experience that is triggering you, that there is something about them that is annoying you, pissing you off, and you don't like, asking that question, being at cause of your own emotions, asking that question, how is that person reflecting back to me? And then clearing that up within yourself. So, for example, the way I shifted this was when I started to become aware that I was judging another person, saying something about them in my mind that I would never say out loud. I would then switch it to 3 things that I really loved about them. And even if that person really ticked me off, I would search for 3 things that I really loved about them, because at the end of the day, like I was saying before, that your brain only sees you and what is already in your current awareness within yourself. So if you are searching for 3 things that you love about them over that one judgment, you're teaching your brain, you're rewiring your brain to search for your reticular activating system, to search for the positives, to search for the things that you love. Because therefore, if you're searching for the things you love in other people, you're going to be more likely to search for the things that you love within yourself as well, which ultimately in turn will impact and increase your confidence and self-worth, which is what we all want, right? So that would be my first tip. How is this me searching for the 3 things that you love about that person rather than the 1 thing that you hate? So replacing that. And then if you want an extra challenge, letting that person know. So going and telling them, hey, you look amazing today, or your success is really inspiring me to go after my goals. And could be, you are so smart and you really motivate me to go and learn more about this topic. Switching it around and letting them know, because if you go up to them and let them know what you love about them, well, 1, you've probably made their day, and 2, it's almost like you're saying this to yourself. And going back to what I said before about if you are noticing and making an effort to notice the positives, the success, the beauty, the intelligence in others, they are your reflection, and therefore you're making an effort to see this more within yourself as well. So these are my tips for dealing with comparison, to stop comparing yourself to other people, stop looking up to people, start looking over to them instead, because when you start looking over to them, you'll start to realize that the amazingness that you see in others is in you. And instead of making that mean that you are not good enough, you'll realize that the success, the intelligence, the lifestyle, the happiness, the beauty, all these things that you are making mean that you're not good enough are actually the reasons why you are good enough, because you are seeing these things are in your reality because they are you. And then if you are getting triggering people in your experience, asking the question, being that cause of your emotions rather than effect, rather than playing victim, asking that question, how is that person me? Figuring it out, and then finding the 3 things that you love about them instead, switching it around. And if you want a real challenge, go up to them, tell them how beautiful they are. Tell them that you love their outfit. Tell them that they are so smart, they are so inspiring, and that you look over to them and what they're doing. That shift for me has honestly changed my life, and I use it time and time again with clients. If you do end up using this, please let me know how it goes and try it for 30 days and watch your life change. Truly one of the best mindset shifts I've ever learnt, and it is an absolute honor to share it with you all today. Enjoy and have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you for being a part of the Generation Elevation community. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to leave a 5-star rating, written review, share, and tag me on Instagram at elise.riley. Until next time, keep loving, keep learning, and keep rising.